Greetings everybody, I am the Soviet Warlord and today I'm bringing you another episode of Space Engineers. As you may remember, in our last episode we set up a hangar bay and we've got the groundwork going. Well, as you can see here, the sun is in quite a different place. I've actually been doing quite a lot of mining work off camera, and I've done quite a few things to set us up to build our first ship, which we will now be doing today. So, yeah, we've got rid of all these landing gears, as you probably know. The refinery, I have actually removed it over to the side here, and I've attached it with quite a few modules actually. I've got 3 efficiency mods, so this will increase the speed at which it refines, and I've got an effectiveness module as well, which means it increases the amount I get from each one. That's a bit of a lag spike there. So in here I have done quite a bit. I've 114,000 iron, that will get us set up for a few ships and for a station when we originally get there. Silicon for the glass and computers and all that sort of noddy-doddy stuff. Got a lot of platinum. I've particularly taken an interest in stocking up on gold, platinum and silver because I know I need those for things like thrusters. Cobalt seems to have quite a low conversion rate, as well as magnesium. Magnesium has got one of the lowest conversion rates I've ever seen, but I'm going to need that if I want to make ammo. But that's for quite a long time. We're not going to be making any combat ships for at least a few episodes. Right, now I've been playing with a few designs in creative mode, so I kind of have a good idea what I want to build, which is always a good sign. So let me get my assembler running here. I've also got a crap ton of uranium, so I'm not going to be running out of that anytime soon. I've got enough fuel here for nearly 28 days. Idling, that is. Right. Let's take some steel plates to get us started. I need some construction components to set up my landing gear. That will get us going. Oh yeah, my mods take a while here. Right, so I need light armour, of course. And I'm going to need landing gear. Small landing gear. I think. So this is where we're going to be building it. Now, need to position this correctly, otherwise this is going to look terrible. Like that. Wait, is that attached? No, of course that's not attached, it's not even built yet, what am I saying? Right. So I want to lay out the framework. This is going to be the front. So I think the best way I can do this is to start from the back and work forward. So actually this was a pretty dumb idea. Hold on. What I need is a connector. That's the one. Steel plates will get it started. That's kind of what I wanted. So again, for a small ship. Wait, that's for a station. How big is that ship? Right, okay, that's going to be good enough to connect it to a conveyor. Okay, right. So I want to place it fairly near the back here. Like so. I'm going to put it a little bit high up so I can access the bottom of the ship, like so. That'll do. Right, I need tubes, motors and computers. Right, and I need to restore my oxygen because that is getting low. There we go, restored. Okay. So we need... Those are girders. Let's not make the same mistake I did last time. Right, I need tubes, computers and motors. I'm going to need quite a lot of motors because there's quite a few conveyor belts for this. So I don't want reactor components. Right, like that. Okay. This is going to get us off the ground, basically. So this is going to be a mining ship. This is going to help me mine resources on an industrial scale. There we go. So we have ourselves a connector. As you can see, this has one tube here, one tube on the bottom, one tube on this side, and one tube on the top. As you can tell as well, my gravity, I lowered the factor of gravity down to half just to make jumping around a bit easier. Okay, so what I want to do is run these tubes around the side and create a cargo bay in the middle. There we go, a small curved one. So I need to rotate that this way, and I need an interior plate to get me started. Right, let me sorry, I can't even speak today. Let me analyse what I need from my ship computer, and I will come back and bring the necessary components. So, bear with me just one moment. Okay, so this is our framework. So we have the connector just here. This is linked to 5 conveyors. That may seem like a bit overkill, and you're probably right, but I do have reasons for that. There is the gyroscopes connected underneath here, which does take away a bit of our space. But I plan to put potentially a couple of generators on top of these, just because if the ship is dead, I can power it with the conveyor belt. Though I will have a battery or something potentially underneath the ship. That way I can have an auxiliary battery if the ship dies. Business shipment, okay. Basically I can have that if the ship dies. I can turn on the auxiliary power from the battery, which will then allow the conveyor belts to work. Now I want plenty of storage for this ship, so 3 of those. I want 3 on here. I want 3 on the top. That way they're all connected to the conveyors. Ooh, construction components, okay. I thought I brought plenty of those with me. Alright, let me just get some construction components. I could have swore I brought a lot more out with me than that, if I'm honest. Construction components. "900-meter shells, millimeter shells. That's going to do some serious damage." I'll go 40, that'll do. Right. Now, because they're all linked to conveyor belts, this means that I'm basically going to have as much storage as I need, because the conveyor belt will drag the items through. And I mean, 9 containers is pretty nice. Now, just because I want the extra junctions, I'm going to put these here as well. So I only have the conveyors really. I could use conveyor junctions to be fair, but it's a small ship and they don't cost as much, so that's fine. That's like the internal workings right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and help make the outside a bit nicer. Now bear in mind I'm going completely from memory here, so if I remember correctly, I had slopes along the outside here. Rotate that way. I'm still not really familiar with the whole rotating thing in this game. It's a bit clunky. I have to consciously look up at the... Perhaps if I turn the frickin' dampeners on. I have to keep looking up at the top of my screen to check the directions. I should paint this while I go along, to be honest, but I figured I can do that off camera afterwards. I prefer to just do the design. I have corners to make this into a nice, elegant sort of circle. But bear in mind I'm doing this all the while not bumping this this shell, otherwise it's going to fly off and I'm going to lose, well, not lose my progress, but it's going to be one hell of an annoying ordeal to get it back. Just like that. Now, remember I keep this exposed, so when I go back to the original block, I block this off like so, and I put slopes across this entire angle. If I am correct, I may have to log back into that world and just make sure I'm doing this correctly. Yeah, I seem to remember that's correct. A lot of the ship relies on asymmetry. Yeah, symmetry. What am I saying? Asymmetry. It's not matching. What am I talking about? What am I doing today? Okay, so I'm going to put power cores potentially here. So my gyroscopes, I only really need 2 gyroscopes. Last time I tried to build a ship this size, I put 6 in it, and it was the most responsive piece of crap I think I've ever used. So then again, I could just put 4 in, and if it's too much, I can just switch off a couple of gyroscopes to save power. But allow me to put in some more framework for you, and I'll rejoin you in a few moments. Bear with me. Okay, I have the framework set out here. So this is all of the circuitry that I've got going. Okay, it looks a mess, and that's kind of because it is. But this is all the circuitry. So a connector is attached on a 4-way circuit into the middle here. There's a conveyor, or 5 conveyors in an X shape. Each of those conveyors is now connected to 3 cargo containers. There is still 2 slots up here, which is probably where I'm going to put the reactor cores, because I want to make sure the ship has plenty of power. Next, that is all linked up to another X of conveyors just here, and they all feed into one master conveyor. Seems overkill. Again, it probably is, but given the amount of storage that I want and to leave some slots open to attach other components, I think it's quite a smart idea. That is then linked to another junction. The first one here leads to the cockpit, so if I get any sort of cargo in the cockpit, which is more than likely, I can simply manually transfer it to the cargo containers and get it out of mind. Then I have these pipes coming off here. This is where the drills are going to be attached. There's going to be 2 here, and there's going to be 1 directly on the front. The width of the ship makes this a very good tunnel bore machine. You can make machines which are a lot thinner than mine, or a lot thinner than the design that I'm making. The difference is the thinner ones will make a smaller drill hole in the asteroid. Because I'm going for a large area and sort of an area cleaner, this is kind of the best strategy for me. But there's 1,000,001 other ships out there. I mean, you can just simply like Google ideas if you're sort of running low. I mean, I can't really give you some myself, but hey ho, you can have a look at it, look it up. So that's the back wall. Let me just bring up my reference images here. This is the one I designed in Creative. The difference is I'm having to adapt some of my strategies here. Okay, because it's actually slightly bigger than I had planned in Creative, which is not a problem. But all 3 of these have a high wall. so. Now it actually works out in my favour a little more in that this wall is slightly bigger. I can actually fit better thrusters on it. Okay, this part in here is not going to be seen, which is a bonus. But it is what connects the back of these conveyor pipes. Let's have a think here. Oh yeah, these didn't have their components attached. What's going on here? Okay, so where this wall is here, there needs to be a slope right here, like there. That's going to be one block ahead of that. The thrusters are going to be slightly up, so yeah, that's fine. So 1, 2, 3. And that's where the slope is going to be. Now, this leaves space for an insignia as well, if I do plan to put one on there, because the pipes are going to be nicely concealed underneath the wing. Now there's going to be set thrusters in the middle. That's fine. So now I need to drag this 2 out, but the end is going to be a thruster, like so. This part here is also a thruster, so there's going to be 2 right here. Now I just want to make sure I leave the space for that, so I'm going to block these off. And that's the basic shape of our wing. It is going to be identical on the other side. That thruster there is going to be exposed by a block. However, I can tidy that up later. The wings themselves are 3 blocks long. I think they need to be a full solid block. So that shouldn't be a problem. So 1, 2 and 3. Then the drill is attached. So let's go ahead and fill this whole thing in. Oh, did I bump it? Yes, I did. Just a little bit though. I have to be very careful until I get all of the relevant components on this thing. Once I have a power core on it, then I'll be all good. So once I'm able to get this thing to land and not mess about, it's going to be all the rage. So the drill is attached here. How much is a mining drill, just out of interest? The drill. I don't need a cockpit, so that's fine. Let's rotate it. Now, if I've done this correctly, we should be fine. Steel plates, motors, construction. Right. Yeah, the drill comes out just in front of the cockpit. That was my aim. Can I put this down yet? No, 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 not quite. Okay, that's fine. Right, so drill this in. Large steel tubes. Okay, so I'm going to fill this wing in just here, and I'm going to mirror it on the other side, so we have the basic shape going. Bear with me, and I'll join you in a couple of seconds. Okay, so we are coming along nicely. Oh. Military transporter, that's not coming my way. Well, it is, but it hasn't spotted me, which is a good thing. Right, where was I? So we have the 3 drills in place, 1 attached to the cockpit and 2 attached to the conveyors. We have 5 reactors. My Mark 1 model that I built in Creative only had 2, and it was constantly overloading, and that was only with 2 drills. So I figure 5 generators all attached to the conveyors will make this a hell of a lot easier. I've also got the thrusters on here. The beta edition only had 4 of these blocks. This one has 5, so it's a bit more spaced out. 2 behind the wings, so I can now go left, right and forwards. I've also put a bit of shielding up here on the top of these conveyors. I don't anticipate getting shot at, but you never know. There are a lot of unscrupulous pirates out there. So, what I want to do is attach the top here. Actually, I have an idea that might save this thing just in case of a problem. If I go ahead... Actually no, I'm not going to bother docking it up yet. Famous last words. Right, so let me just check my reference images here. Okay, so that thing has a housing on the top. Underneath here has got a nice layer of blocks. So the last block before the slope here, there is a slope set up right there, like so. Now right the way across the top of this thing, actually there needs to be a block here and here as well. And that music made me think there was something coming this way. I'm glad there isn't. The bit in the middle here is also a slope. As you can tell, I'm leaving a little bit of the inside hollow, just in case I need to access it and it's not too tightly built, because there's always a problem if you build it too tightly. If it's all packed in like sardines, you'll have a pretty hard time doing any maintenance on it if you do happen to take a few hits. Now I've just figured out this on top of here was not in the original design, so I'm going to have to factor that into the build. So let's put the armour blocks on here. So I've got the original, then the inside. This will cover it, that'll be fine. No, hold on. No, that is correct. What am I saying? That's correct. Like that. Weld all these in. Excellent. The block... Oh god, I just bumped it. It's not moving, it's too big to move. Right, that's good. That's actually a bit of peace of mind, I'm glad it's too big. Like that. Right, so that's the top armoured up a little bit. Now up here, it would look a bit too odd if I had 2 slopes, so I'm only going to settle for 1 slope. Let's rotate that. 1, 2, 3, 4. The design is also repeated, of course, on the other side. Now, I'm a little bit hesitant here in that I don't quite know, because this ship is very slightly longer, where I need to break this off. Am I covering any of the key components doing this? I do hope not. Most of it you're not going to see, which is... This is I like the idea. I want it to look sort of cleanly built, really. Now the original design here has 5 blocks, so the new design is more than likely going to have 6. In which case they're going to be slightly differently laden. Now I know the whole top here is a layer of blocks, so yeah, that's the corner. The slope is too high on the wings. This needs to be a full layer across. Yeah, I'm not going to be covering anything. Though I do need to leave one of the reactors exposed and put some uranium in it so I can actually switch the ship on. That would be an idea. Let me go get some uranium and sort that out. I don't want to end up building the ship and then totally forgetting about it. Oh, it's going to be around here somewhere. Oh yes. That is a lot of fucking fuel. Okay, let's take... Well, if I'm going to fuel all of them, I'll just take 10. I'll just divide them between the 5 reactors at the end. Okay, so this one here. Can I access the inventory of this reactor from any direction on this? I know there's a way to access this. Can I get to any of these from underneath? No way to get to it from under here. Oh, this is awkward. Then again, I don't really need to do this. I can just power the ship from the outside afterwards, it's fine. Just put a reactor down and do it that way. So, let me continue. No point wasting time doing that. Okay, so 2 high, 2, 3, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, that's the slope, 10. I think this is one wider than my original design. No, it is 9 because this is a slope. Yeah, of course. Put that in there. Oh, not there. Right, let's weld this together. Excellent, it's coming together quite nicely now. Now, of course, this part inside here needs to be sealed up. Like that. That part in there is a slope. It's also one wider than the original design, so that needs to be filled. Like that. Now, the thrusters here, this whole block up here is too wide. And this is a full set as well. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, beautiful. Like that. Right, so in the corner of this, I need to put in a corner block. One there, and one here. Slope for the trouble. And then fill in the undercarriage here. Ah, crap, I've buggered myself here. That's it. This welder, this elite welder is so glorious. Perhaps if I use the correct block, it really does. That needs to be rotated that way. No, not that way. That way. And put these in. Okay, that's the bay for my ion thrusters, so let me put that in. So if it's 6 wide, 6 long now, I'm going to have to put them here and here. It's the only place that's going to look vaguely symmetrical. Perfect. Right, let me have a look over my schematic again, and I'll see if there's anything that I can change with this. So bear with me. Right, we are nearly there, guys. Nearly there. Just bringing up my reference images once more. Right, so we have the whole back of this ship now constructed, minus decorations and paints, which I will do at a later stage. The welding here didn't quite go to plan, so I had to sort of band-aid fix that corner, but I don't think it looks too bad, to be honest. I can get away with that quite easily. This corner here I have forgot to do, so let me just fill that in. Oh, I can barely even tell what direction that's facing. There you go. Perfect. Right, so according to my reference images, this has got an underneath here. So on the layer above that, I need another layer of armoured slopes and a corner block just here in this corner. Okay, so it doesn't quite cover up the conveyor vent to there, but it's good enough. It's good enough for me. Also across the top I need some more armour blocks. I believe this part here is sloped, if I am correct. My images can't really tell that. Let me just try and get myself another image to check that out. My apologies. There we go. Yeah, I can use this image here. Okay, so on the very top of my ship I have some armor blocks here, like so. Wait, am I out of I'm out of steel plates. How can I be so careless? One moment. Okay, there we go. I now have some steel plates because I'm careless, and hey ho, what can I say? That'll do. No, I don't want that many. I want that many. Right, let's get back down there and we'll finish this off. Okay, so according to the design, I also have a layer of armoured slopes on the top of my cockpit, just like that. Excellent. However, this platform seems wider than it should be. Or maybe it's not, actually. Maybe it is not. Okay, so a corner, an interior corner, just there, which is going to link it to the area below. Like that. Now from the wings here, these two blocks are going to be empty. Right, and that's the top of the drill. Okay, yeah, that's fine. So that's where this is. So there's a slope here that's going to connect towards the front of the ship. Page up. Oh. The slope is the wrong way. That's not nice. I have a feeling I'm building this on the total wrong level, which is going to be really pleasant. Have I actually built this on the wrong level? Actually, I'm going to adapt this design because I'm... Oh, don't drill that, that's the pipe. Did I damage that? Oh, I didn't. Right. Yeah, I'm going to adapt this because I don't really like the look of it from my original design. It looks it looks like there's too much going on. So that's what I'm going to say about it. Way too much going on. I mean, there's curves, there's sort of brakes, there's all sorts of stuff going on. I just think, no, that looks too complicated. So I'm going to make some modifications. Because sometimes having something too complicated just detracts from the value of it. And I don't want to detract from the value of what I'm doing. Can I get in here? To weld that piece in. Just having a bit of trouble navigating this ship. And now I appear to be stuck. Okay. That's it. Right. Corners in here to patch in the inside. Yes, there's one thing that I did completely misinterpret with this ship, is that I didn't actually put any thrusters on the front originally, which, as you can probably tell, is one of the smartest things I've ever done. Just completely foregoing the fact that it didn't have any thrusters on it. So what I need to do is place them here, on top of the conveyors. Like that. That way I can now move up, down, left, right, forwards and backwards, which is all you need to get your ship going. I can then accent this with a light armor block on top. And one thing I want to put in is some spotlights, because I know it gets dark out there. Luckily, spotlights don't require them to be connected to conveyors to get power. But I think I'm going to put those right next to the windows. Actually, no, I have a better idea. If I build a little platform on the top here, I can fix them on top, which will be pretty good. Slope. Turn that the other way. There we go. So, if I wanted to put a spotlight on it, could I put it on this way? Yes, I could. That's 1, 2. There we go. So my ship now has lights, thrusters, and 3 drills. Now all I've got to do is cover up the undercarriage just here, which isn't a problem. There's an X shape going down underneath here. Where this comes to meet in the centre, I think I've built this in the wrong order again. Yes, I have. Okay. I really should be more careful when I do that. Right, so where this comes to meet in the middle, I need to put a corner block in here. Wait, am I being really stupid here? There we go, my mistake. Yeah, it's had a little bit of a tech mismatch there, which is fine. So I've put in these slopes now. I just want to break up these corners here, because they look a little harsh. So I mean, I can either put in a corner, or I could put in a slope. Though I kind of like the look of the slope. I could make it a graded slope actually. So let me try and see what a graded slope looks like. Yeah, that looks a lot nicer. So I'm going to go ahead with the graded slope. Just like that. Now that is what you call pretty good. That is some precision engineering, that is. Right, so what I'm going to do off camera here is paint it and power it, and we'll take it for a couple of minutes test drive. I know this episode's getting quite long, so I'm going to try and shorten this up for you a little bit. This conveyor belt sticking out bothers me a little, but there's not really much I can do about that. In fact, making the ship look terrible. Right, I'm going to power it up and paint it, so I will be with you in just a few moments. And we are live! Our ship is enabled. How quickly is that burning fuel? Just out of interest. Not very much. Well, it is idle, I suppose. Right, so the gyroscopes make this thing turn. Inventory. Can I split this? Yes, I can. So I can't get to the drills. I can get to the reactor, that's perfect. Right, small reactor, 2, reactor number 2, 2, reactor number 3, 2 of those, 2 of those, and 2 of those. Oh yeah, I put the other 0.2 in the top. Obviously we've got the drills, and that's the small reactor there, which I can't reach because it's on the outside of the ship. So, attachments. So I need to put the drills on here. It's all 3 of the drills. Connectors. Don't need to worry about the connector too much. Don't need to worry about those. Spotlights. Toggle it on and off. Toggle on and off. Spotlight 2, toggle on and off. There we go. So we should have a pretty good ship right here. So when I put the dampeners on and go to stop, good, the power usage is fantastic. I like that. However, it's not particularly responsive when it comes to slowing down, so I may have to work on that. But this is only for a precision drill. Let's give it a try. I can very gently manoeuvre this. Oh god, that does wobble. I might need an extra gyroscope. Okay, that is good. I like that. I feel like the drills on the left and right are a little bit too far back though. Maybe the thrusters on the top are a little bit too high up. Though it seems to be able to build or dig far enough in that the whole ship can fit in there. That's a really good sign. And the ship only weighs 7 tons. Excellent. Well, I'm quite satisfied with that. That is a pretty good investment, though still needs a little bit of work to be done to it, but otherwise, that's pretty good. And it's part of TAF, the Talonite Assault Fleet, and it is the Tunneler. So, that is where I'm going to leave our episode. So, next episode I hope to set up some kind of device that's going to massively increase our productivity by offloading the cargo that I dig from here. And we should be able to get ourselves a full-scale operation going, maybe even set up a base. So, that is all you're going to get from me today, folks. You have a good one, and I hope to see you again very soon. See you later, guys.